everybody, Chief Meteorologist Patrick Dennis here with you with another episode of the Barksdale Bubble. Now, this one's a little bit different than what we have normally been doing for you. And the reason it's different is for this right here. So as many of you know, I love the great outdoors. I do a lot of work with, one organization here in town that promotes high school fishing. And they actually recently just had an end of the year banquet. And so I adjusted my schedule to make sure I could go and get over there to it. And at that event, they didn't tell people who the special guest speaker was, but it turned out that it was a gentleman that goes by the name of Hank Parker. Now, Hank Parker has really made a name for himself whenever it comes to fishing, and especially the Bassmaster Classic. So I wanted to go over there, have a chance to chat with him and talk with him some. So that is what I did. And for anybody that enjoys the outdoors, you know how important the weather happens to be. The weather dictates everything about it, whether it's hunting, whether it's fishing, whatever it is, it messes your plans up. But also the weather could be almost appears to be ideal to some folks, meaning that it's sunny, it's 73 degrees and no wind outside. But does that necessarily mean that's the right weather for what you want to do, whether it's hunting or fishing or something like that? So I had a chance to go and interview Hank, and so that's what I want to share with you. I did talk to Hank about his big accomplishments, his message he wanted to get out to those kids that particular evening. But again, because of the fact he does a podcast, I do a podcast, he's been doing his stuff for so many years there, Hank Parker Outdoor Magazine. But I had a chance to chat with him, and so of course I did ask him questions about the weather also and the impacts of weather has on fishing. So take a listen this week. I have a chance to chat with a legend whenever it comes to bass fishing, Mr. Hank Parker. Had an opportunity this evening to be able to hang out and listen to a legend himself, everybody, Mr. Hank Parker, two-time Bassmaster Classic winner?
Yep.
Grand Slam also, right?
Yes, sir.
And he actually had a chance to speak here this evening to the High School Fishing League for their end-of-the-year banquet. And for people who aren't familiar with what exactly is a Grand Slam of fishing, what is that real quick?
Well, you know, bass back in my era, they've added a few tournaments and they've taken a few away, but it was Bass Angler of the Year, the Bassmaster Classic, Super Bass, and a qualifying tournament. No one had won all four of those events until I did in 1985.
Yeah. So you actually came here tonight to speak. You've been to town here a few times recently, seems like.
Yeah, Lynn Beatty's a real good friend of mine, and I co-host with them on The Way It Was TV. So
yeah. Yeah, great people there. Show that's actually seen nationally, but also at the same time, it's also seen here locally too. I have my thing that I do that's only here locally, but you actually had a chance to go visit too with a friend of mine, Mr. Mike Bacon at Bacon's Tackle.
Bait and Tackle beats all I've ever seen. I did a podcast a couple of weeks ago talking about how tremendous that store is. So anybody anywhere in the world should come and meet Michael Bacon. He is a wealth of information. Plus, he's got all the lures that's ever been made from the 1920s all the way up to present age.
Did he show you, I can't remember the names of them, the machines in the back that he's still able to take the wood and do that?
And they were developed in the 30s. It just blows my mind.
And I think he may actually have the only functioning ones like that still left today.
Well, he actually made us a couple barrels today, a couple lures. Amazing.
And did he show you how he takes his baits and takes the frogs skins?
He didn't show us, but I got a bait.
Yeah. I mean,
but he said if he showed me, it'd have to kill me.
There you go, right there.
And I wasn't ready to die today.
And you saw probably the roughly 5,000 rattle traps he has sitting around his place.
5 million.
Yeah, it seems like that. It seems like that. A pretty cool thing. So you came here tonight to speak to these kids. What was the message that you wanted to send to them?
When I get serious about trying to be of value. You know, you can tell jokes and you can make people laugh and you can have a good time, and I got a lot of fishing stories. But I wanted to be impactful. I wanted to leave them with a message that's going to help them if they dream about being a professional fisherman, what it takes and how to get there, maybe a few little shortcuts, how to get sponsors, what that's all about. And I wanted it to be something of value. So I take it very serious, and it's a privilege and an honor. This is a very focused group.
Right.
This is a very unusual. Out of all the places I've been, this is an extremely unusual group of kids.
So, you made mention of the fact to me right now, I'm talking to them about do a podcast. And so at the television station, they ask us to do a podcast now.
Yeah.
And my podcast is eventually get to do an outdoors one, but I have to do one about the weather. Okay, and we call it the Barksdale Bubble. I don't know. So Barksdale Air Force Base is here. For some reason, people believe that the Air Force Base controls the weather. But I want to ask you a question about the weather. For you yourself, do you have ideal fishing conditions when it comes to the weather?
Absolutely.
What's your ideal condition?
Low pressure. Low pressure with warm temperatures and low pressure makes all the difference in the world. People talk about cold or wind or rain or whatever. The pressure has more to do with whether the bite's going to be favorable than anything else. So when you get one of those high barometers, man, it gets tough. And it really tells you that you need to be more deliberate on your presentations, and so you change your style of fishing.
Right.
I'm really aggressive. If it's a good low pressure day, man, I'm very aggressive.
When you say low pressure, you want pressure that is changing and dropping, or pressure that's consistently low?
It's okay as long as when it's dropping, but when it's consistently low, it is just dynamite. Dynamite. I mean, you might have 3 days in a row with you have a good low pressure and you're hammering them.
Worst weather conditions you've ever fished in?
Oh my goodness, when you have a extreme high pressure under very cold conditions with off-colored water. You know, you can catch fish in clear water even when it's cold, but muddy cold water is almost impossible. And then you take muddy cold water and you have a high pressure system. Oh my goodness.
Windy conditions, moderate winds, a little bit of a breeze, no wind. What do you like the best?
Let the wind be your friend. The wind dictates a lot. The wind will put a cloud in the water. The wind will move bait fish. The wind will make fish far more aggressive toward power baits. Big spinner baits work better in the wind than they do when it's calm. So a lot of people hate the wind. I love the wind.
Yeah.
I've won a lot of tournaments on windy days.
Right there with it. What you say about worst weather there with it, how many times have you seen the fishing pick up when you have a storm approaching you or a cold front approaching you?
Oh, absolutely. Right before a cold front sets in, storm hits, right, that 2-3 hour window before it happens, they can turn on and be aggressive.
I sat on Lake Ouachita, day number 3, Forest Wood Cup, and sitting up there as actually the marshal for Mark Daniels Jr. and the boat with him. Severe weather came up. Brad Knight, who won the tournament, right there in front of us. I'm seeing lightning striking in front of us. Mark Daniels Jr. was determined. He needed to catch another fish to make it to the day. Barely caught a legal fish, but he was able to get it right whenever that storm hit.
Was coming. I've done that so many times, and I tell people, be careful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Catching a fish is not worth your life, and you know how dangerous lightning can be on the water, so don't ever push that. But I've caught a lot with the storm moving in, but I don't play with lightning. I just don't do it. I get off the water.
You made the comment to these young anglers talking about, I like fishing this lake, I like fishing that lake, I don't like this lake. You say, go fish all of them.
Don't ever not like a lake. When you're going there for a tournament and you put it in your brain, I hate this lake. I can't believe we're coming to this lake. I hate clear water. I hate muddy water. I hate this. I hate that. You're defeating yourself.
Yeah.
Man, you got to look for somebody's going to win this tournament. There's going to be somebody in this event that's going to win. Why not you? And it's all about your attitude. Mm-hmm. So if you don't dread a lake, if you don't jinx yourself by automatically condemning the lake, embrace it. Man, I love it. I got an opportunity to win. I'm going to learn something.
Have you fished much in this area?
I have.
You got a favorite lake that you've enjoyed fishing?
Well, I fish Bissano and I fish Toledo Bend. I really love Rayburn. Rayburn's right down the road from Toledo. I love it. Fish Lake of the Pines. I like it fine. But I really love Sam Rayburn.
I like Sam Rayburn also because I don't get a chance to. I've covered tournaments. That's one tournament I actually competitively fished in it. Rattle Trap Open. Can't remember what year it was. Dickie Newberry. And Dickie and myself actually won the tournament down.
I'll be darned. Well, good for you. 26 pounds. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's my only claim that it
awesome.
End up having there. And one final thing for you. You had a message towards the end. And you talked about the negativity today with it. And I'm a big advocate for being positive about it. I see too many times, whether or not it is on the professional level, like you said, or even down on the level right now. And that's a message you wanted to send tonight.
We talk about that. I have my granddaughter, Sarah Beth, who co-hosts my podcast, and I talk about the negativity and how it's contagious and how it's spreading so much. And I'm so disappointed in our anglers. And she said, Papa, wait a minute. It is not just fishing. It's everywhere.
Yep.
The teachers in the schools are saying it's such a problem because one little girl will get mad at another little girl and she'll post that, and then this group of girls will take her side, and then this group of girls will take another side, and so all of a sudden you've got animosity and division in the classroom. we got to figure out. I told the kids tonight, it's okay to go ahead and write it down, but don't hit send.
I've done that many times before.
Wait at least 24 hours before you hit send and think about it.
And a lot of folks nowadays are posting things because they want clicks, likes, and shares.
No.
They made a good business out of it, and unfortunately, I think that has hurt things. And rather than trying to tear the sport down, we need to find things. Like me, I'm trying to kickstart off here kids fishing, little kids, little fishing rodeos, and I think that's important there to introduce that to them. But anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here with you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Great message here tonight delivered to these kids.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. That, everybody, was Hank Parker, what he calls a Grand Slam champion on Bassmaster, two-time winner, the Bassmaster Classic. And, you know, he shared a story with those kids there that night, and the story was about how weighing fish in there. And, you know, that's something you need to go find there for you there on YouTube and do a search for it, because he was talking about how he doesn't want to get out, hold those fish up and show those fish off. He wants to make sure as much water possible can stay around those fish whenever it comes to weighing it in. But it was a Bassmaster Classic moment whenever he ended up winning it one of those times there. And the kids just loved the story. I mean, the kids and the adults alike. But you obviously notice that weather plays such a huge impact whenever it comes to fishing. And like even for me, that, you know, I actually went out and done stories before to show when the barometric pressure is low or barometric pressure is falling, that the fishing can turn on. The problem of it is, unfortunately, a lot of times there's storms associated with it. So you got to think safety, safety, safety first there whenever it comes to that. Anyway, just a little bit something different for you here this week on the Barksdale Bubble for you, just because I had an opportunity to go chat with Hank and ask him a variety of different questions. And also we got a chance to chat a little bit about some weather there as well. But anyway, folks, thanks for watching us here and listening to us on our podcast. You can go check out some of the other ones as well, wherever you get your favorite podcast. But this happens to be this week's edition, everybody, of the Barksdale Bubble.